I'm going to talk about markup languages now, and markup languages really are how the browser software interprets the data on the page itself. And first, the way we do this is through the standard generalized markup language, or the SGML. And this is an example right here where you might have an anthology, and in there you'll have a poem and the title of the poem, and a stanza, and different parts. And so you can kind of define up using these little tags surrounded by a greater than and less than sign to define what the content really is. This is something you just create in a text editor. It's really simple, and probably the most famous is HTML. And you can see where you'll have a body of a web page, and you'll have a header element and a paragraph and a link, and you can see how we've surrounded all of these with these tags. But if we rewind a little bit, HTML was one of the first markup languages for the web. But we also do have what we call XML, and XML is very similar to HTML in that it uses these tags to, this example is define a recipe and give it a title, and then you have an ingredient list, and each ingredient in that list and some preparation things. And again, these are just made up by the the developer or the creator, I guess, and then something interprets those. And so XML is just something that we can use to define and mark up a language. We did combine that with HTML for a while, and we came up with something called XHTML. And XHTML is very similar to HTML, but it wasn't so forgiving, I guess, with a lot of its syntax. But I want everybody to kind of know what XHTML is. It used to be what we used to develop all websites on, but we've moved on to something called HTML5. And HTML5 is a lot like previous versions of HTML, as well as a lot of those things that we did in XHTML, but a little cleaner. And that's what we will end up using in this class, and really for the next 10, 20 years maybe. And we'll talk more about what that looks like and a lot of those tags. But again, these are just markup languages we use to define our content.